I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, how low can rates go? Last week we just had our 7th interest rate cut. It was a small one, 25 basis points, but we've had 7 cuts since late last summer. And I always have to rub this in. I think, if you guys look at my track record over the last 14 years of doing this blog, I think it's pretty damn good. All the videos are in there, over 800. And I think pretty much I don't do a lot of predictions on this blog. I just tell you guys to buy and hold real estate and buy and hold low-cost ETFs in your RSP and TFSA and call it a day. Forget about trying to time markets in and out. But in the light predictions I've done over the last 10 or 12, 13 years, I think I'm batting 1,000. And, I still got to rub this in. Remember, go back to my blogs last summer when I was talking about, guys, interest rate cuts are coming. And the amount of pushback I got on that was unbelievable. And it wasn't just me. It was other people that were, mortgage guys that were calling for interest rate cuts coming soon and heavy. And they were, there's no way. Inflation is still too hot. We can't. Well, the people that were complaining were always the people that generally did not own a home and did not have any leverage. And for good reason, I get it. If you're not using leverage or borrowing, lower interest rates are not good for you because they're going to start flaring up inflation again. So we cut it. This was our 7th cut since last summer. And you know what, guys? I've got news for you. There's still probably going to be another 1 or 2 more to go. We're not sure now with this tariff threat. We are in a recession in Canada. I've been saying this for many, many months now. It's just that we don't admit to it. The federal government, the Liberal NDP co-alliance, is masking the numbers here. We are in a recession and have been for a while. They've done things like the capital gains tax, pushing all that forward with the increase, the 2-month GST holiday, they're finagling stuff. We are in a recession. But, I think we're probably going to get 1 or 2 more cuts later this year. We'll have to see, maybe 2 quarter-point hikes, maybe even a 50. I think as I speak right now, the variable rate is down to about 3.9%. It's pretty darn good. I think you can lock in a 3-year fixed for probably under 4% right now and probably still coming down. So, inflation, I think, personally right now, I think inflation is going to probably rear its ugly head a little bit. I don't think it's going to spike up nearly to what it was, but I'm already noticing a little bit of inflation in some of the things I buy. I'm also noticing shrinkflation, where they're keeping the price the same, but they're shrinking the package size. We're back on that game again, too. So that's what raising interest or lowering interest rates is going to do. It could spur up inflation again. And again, if you aren't using leverage like I do with my investment homes, I love lower interest rates. The lower they go, the better for me. It cuts my borrowing costs and a better cap rate for me. But of course, the ones that complain about it generally are not using or not borrowing. And for them, they're getting taxed on these lower interest rates in the form of inflation, because that's what inflation is, guys. It's what they call a ghost tax. When inflation's running at 2 or 3%, that's a tax on you. So we'll see where it goes. Again, good news for me, because again, I've got mortgages and I've got rental properties and I work with a lot of investors. Again, I think I've talked about this right now. Things are looking pretty good if you want to become an investor. I know some people will criticize me for this, but I've had some really good buys here so far this spring representing investor clients. Cap rates are at all-time highs now. Vacancy rate is extremely low, maybe 1%, 1.5% for downtown, near 0 for quality units. Tenancy quality is always been very high in downtown Vancouver. You're buying these units now less than what you had to pay for them a few years ago. Not a lot less. They've kind of treaded water. And interest rates have come down. Whenever you can get a sub 4% interest rate, I know it sounds still high compared to where we were when you had a variable at 1.2, 2.5 years ago, which was crazy. We'll never see that again. But when you're locking in interest rates under 4%, and we could get these down into the low 3% here before the end of the year, it's a pretty good setup to buy a good little 1-bedroom condo in a quality strata, pay $650 for it, and rent it for $2,700, $2,800 and just hang on to the damn thing like I always tell you guys. So Interest rates are coming down. I think inflation is kind of raising its head up a little bit here. But of course, in Canada here, we've been so mismanaged here the last 9 or 10 years, both federally and provincially here, that we don't have any choice, guys. Our economy is not in good shape. You know, capital has been fleeing Canada here at a pretty alarming rate for the last 5 years. Because remember, money and capital can flow anywhere it wants, wherever it's going to get the better return. And for the last 8 or 9 years in Canada, it hasn't been there. Why would you invest in Canada with our taxes and restrictions and deficits and everything else? And that's playing out right now with this tariff war with the US. We're not being well managed here. We don't have good negotiators. We'll see where it goes. I'm optimistic that eventually, everything will get settled. But, we're not in a good place right now. We need a change of direction here for sure in Canada. Hopefully that'll come here once they call an election. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.